Hello everybody, happy Philosophy Friday, happy Friday. It's the end of the week, whoa, which is so nice. How was your week? Terrible, I know, I'm just kidding. It was a great week, and I read Crito, the whole thing. It was like 15 pages or something. I got something in my throat. I'm sick. I'm dying. Save me, Socrates. Alright, so Crito is the guy that went into the prison cell where Socrates was before he died. This was like the day or two before he died. Crito goes in and he says, "Socrates, I can help you escape." And Socrates was like, "How'd you get in here?" And Crito's like, "Well, I know the guy who's in charge of the jail." And he's like, "I know a lot of people that we could pay to get you out." And it's funny because Socrates says, "I actually had a vision." Well, Crito's like, the ship that's coming to kill you is on its way, and they should be here sometime today. And then Socrates says, they're gonna kill me the day after they come. He's like, "Yes, you're probably gonna die tomorrow." But Socrates is like, "Actually, I'm gonna die the next day because I had a vision that the ship, something was gonna happen with the ship, and it's not gonna come till tomorrow." He's like, "I had a dream about it." And apparently Socrates was sleeping, and Crito went into the jail cell and just watched him sleep for a while until he woke up. He's like, "I gotta talk to you." And Socrates is like, "Oh, you could have woken me up." But Crito says, "No. I was amazed at how you could be so peaceful. So peaceful when you're about to die." It's a little weird. Socrates is a little weird, I gotta say, but he's kind of in an inspiring way, I guess. Even though I don't think I could ever be like that, but it's a little cool. He's just calm, taking a nap the day before he dies, but then he has this dream that he's going to die a day later. And I'm kind of like, what's the point of the dream? I don't know if it came true. But it's interesting. And so Crito is trying to convince him to escape with him. And the reason why Crito, he's like, I appreciate the honesty, Crito, but he says, "Well, here's the thing. People are going to think I look bad, and they're going to think I'm a bad friend because they'll say, well, he could have given money to help Socrates escape or bail him out or something, but he chose not to because he likes money more than Socrates." He's like, "No one's going to believe that I tried to help you and you refused." He's like, "Please come escape with me." But Crito's just doing it because he doesn't want to look bad, which fair enough. And he does care about Socrates, I think. He's willing to sacrifice his reputation for him. And risk maybe also going to jail and dying to help Socrates escape. So he's a nice friend. And he's talking about all these other friends that can help him escape if they pay them. Socrates says, "Why do you care what people think?" Why do you care what people think? Look, everybody cares what everybody thinks. Everybody cares what everybody thinks about them, unless you're over 70, which Socrates was. So I understand where he's coming from. But as someone who is pretty old myself, I'm getting close to 100 now, I know the phases of life. If you are under 40 years old, you not only don't care what everybody thinks. Like if you say, "I don't care what anybody thinks about me," I don't believe you if you're under 40. And not only that, but you care about what everybody thinks about you. Maybe if you're past 40 to 70, you only care about what certain people think about you. But you can never ever say that you don't care about what anybody thinks about you, unless maybe you're old, really old, like 70 or 90. Then you can start not caring about what anybody thinks about you. But if you're 40 to 70, I'd say you probably could stop caring about what people who don't care about you think. You only care about people who care about you. You only care about what they think, if that makes sense. Of course it makes sense. But that's obviously the truth. That's how it is for every single person. So if you're under 40, I don't believe you. You care about what everybody thinks about you. But Socrates is saying you shouldn't care about what... Actually, Socrates is making the case that you should only care about people who are good. You should only care what they think. How do you know if they're good? Well, he says a good person would know that you tried your best, that we did what was right. And Socrates' whole argument here for all of this is he is going to do what the law says he needs to do. And the law says he needs to die. Because he's like, do we want to live in a world where people can just break the law? And everyone's like, no. While you're reading it, you're thinking, no. But they were unjust to you. It was injustice, Socrates. They are killing you for reasons that they shouldn't. But Socrates goes, I knew you were going to ask that. He knew that we were going to ask that. He says people were going to say that it was unjust laws. But he says that doesn't matter because I chose to live in Athens. My parents were married and were able to produce me thanks to Athens because Athens gave him his parents their marriage license. And Athens gave him an education, raised him up. He chose to live there. He had the choice to leave and go live anywhere else where he could have preached his thing and not gotten killed or whatever. And Athens gave him an opportunity on trial to convince them and to defend himself. And he failed. So now he's not able to leave. Now he's going to die. But he says, if I escape, I'm doing all of this. I'm going against everything that I believe, going against the law, putting my friends, making them do all this, pay money to help me escape, going against everything I ever taught. It's going to ruin my reputation. All for what? There's some quote in here. I don't know if I can find it. But he's saying, I'm doing all this. I'm going to ruin my reputation, go against everything that I've been teaching about the law. I'm following the law. I'm going to, just to escape, just to lengthen my life a little bit. Just to add a little bit more life. And that was another thing that I forgot to say in another video. That he says men fear, he doesn't want to be like a man who fears his own mortality or wants to just delay his mortality. Point being, you're going to die. We're all going to die. And this is the way he's going to die. And he wants to die doing the right thing. It was really crazy. He says, listen. So this is what the people would say if he tried to escape. He's like, this is what they would say. Listen then, Socrates, to us who have brought you up. Think not of a life of... Oh yeah, that was the other thing. Children. He's like, another argument you could make is that he wants to live for his children. But the children, he says, either I take them out of Athens, I go escape to another town, bring my kids there, and take away their citizenship to Athens, which... That would be good, probably, because Athens doesn't sound like it's a great place. But he thinks Athens is good because he chose to live there. He chose to have kids there. He's like, I don't want to take their citizenship away. So what do? I go and escape to a different city and hope that my friends will take care of my kids? He's like, they'll do that anyways, even if I die. So, and what example am I setting by breaking the law? I feel like I want to disagree with him, but also his logic is logicking. It does make sense that if you believe in doing the right thing and you believe in government and authority and you've chosen to live in the city that you live in, your parents got married there, they had you there, you chose to stay there, you chose to have your kids there, you got educated in there, you thought everything that the government did was right there in that regard. But when it comes to the government deciding to put you to death, all of a sudden you try to escape. That would be inconsistent. It would be going against everything you've taught. And you want to prove that you're consistent and prove that you're still good and follow the law and let them kill you. That's crazy. I don't think I would be that logical. I think I'd be like, no, on this one thing, you're wrong. Goodbye. Because they are wrong, objectively. So you could make a case that he could escape and say they're wrong. I'm being consistent in the fact that they're wrong. But he doesn't want to live in a society where people can just decide what they think is right and wrong. It should be up to the government. Why does the government get to decide, Socrates? Because that's just the way it is. So, there were some good quotes, but I can't really find them. Think not of the life and children first, and of justice afterwards, but of justice first, and that you may be justified before the princes of the world below. Of course, he believed in the wrong gods. That's too bad. But he's got the right idea. He's got at least it seems sound. I get where he's coming from, I want to disagree, but I don't really know what to say. Besides, I would say they're wrong. The Athenians are wrong in this, and we believe in objective truth, and you know that they're wrong objectively, so you could escape. But then what would that show? So he's saying the good people will understand this, and we should only care about what the good people think. I don't know. He says, and I know that anything more which you say will be in vain. Yet speak if you have anything to say. Socrates says that to Crito. And Crito's like, I have nothing to say, Socrates. Leave me then, Crito, to fulfill the will of God, and to follow whither he leads. Goodbye, Socrates. Such a nice guy. Such a good man. He was good all the way into the end. If it's good to not obey the government, I don't know. Or good to obey the government, even when they're being unjust. I don't know. That's the question. But that was the whole book of Crito. Really sad. But anyway, what are you going to do when the government comes after you? Are you going to listen to them and say, yep, this is what we need to do? Or are you going to say, no, they're wrong? I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I would probably try to escape because I'm weak. And not necessarily, I would try to come up with some sort of moral justification, but it's probably just because I'm weak. But hey, we'll see what happens when the government takes over.